Charlie SCX entered the evening leading the noms with 5, including for British Album of the Year, Song of the Year, and Artist of the Year. This is frenetic. Dua Lipa had 4 nominations. Chapel Rowan was honored with the Best International Song Award.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman & Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
HurtNY.com.
That's HurtNY.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Providers. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. Call $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-200-1966, 800-200-1966, or biglou.com.
Still stuck with static on the AM dial? Make the switch to All Clear, All News, 92.3 FM.
The News Watch never stops.
Leonard Cohen items. And St. John clinches its first outright Big East championship since 1985, beating Seton Hall this afternoon 71-61. The Islanders beat Nashville. Yanks and Mets both won their spring training games. On the ice tonight, the Devils skate in Utah, and the Nets will visit Detroit on the hardwood. AccuWeather says it's getting much colder tonight, with partly cloudy skies, windy down to 22. Wednesday news time 5:41. Traffic and transit with Russ Meyer.
Brush fire in New Jersey. We've got 280 snarl coming towards New Road in Parsippany, just before you hit Route 80. Word from this comes from Darren, checking our 1010 Wins traffic tip line. Thank you very much, Darren. By the way, if you get caught in a jam, call the 1010 Wins traffic tip line at 844-JAM-1010, 844-JAM-1010. And as Darren noted, it's down to a single lane with delays back to around exit 4 for Eisenhower Parkway. No easy alternate for this one, but it's worse for you. That's doing okay. We'll flip it around and go from New Jersey into New York, and here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. About 25 into the Holland Tunnel coming from Tonelli Avenue, Pulaski Skyway. That's expected from the Turnpike, and it's now about 2025 for the Lincoln Tunnel. 51. 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo is making his long-rumored run for mayor a reality.
I know what needs to be done, and I know how to do it. And I will give it my all to get the job done. And it will get done.
Cuomo from a 17-minute video on YouTube making his announcement. In it, the former governor points to encounters with the mentally ill homeless, the anxiety that goes along with a subway ride, the empty storefronts, graffiti, grime, the influx of migrants, random violence.
He's coming back live for what?
Say that Phyllis has a lot of thoughts on the situation.
Leave it alone. Go do its time. Go to a nice beach. Have a nice time with yourself. Enjoy the time with your age.
So these guys.
Andrew, he's down. I love Cuomo. I will not come to run.
Whoever wins the primary will then have to win over a city that's getting tired of politics as usual.
They all do the same thing. The next mayor that's going to come in, they're going to complain about something he's not doing.
It's going to be like before he is. Circus.
The Democratic primary is June 24th. In the Bronx, Monica Guy, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
She was the former president of the NAACP New York State Conference and one of the few women ever to be elected president of the NAACP. Karen Boykin-Towns, vice chair of the NAACP Board of Directors and longtime family friend, tells 1010 Wins.
I wouldn't be where I am in the NAACP if it wasn't for her tutelage, if it wasn't for her guidance, if it wasn't for her advocacy, quite frankly.
Mayor Adams ordered flags on all city buildings to remain lowered at half-staff. He says Dukes was a trailblazer, a dear friend, a trusted advisor, and a guiding light during challenging times. Public advocate Jumani Williams joined a rally against the city's worst landlords this afternoon in the South Bronx.
I'm frustrated with these tenants who have to endure some rough winters, who have to go through sometimes with no gas, no heat, no hot water, have to live with mold.
An NYPD chaplain known as Father Mike has been busted on charges of patronizing prostitution. Father Michael Iguino was arrested at a Bronx motel in Pelham Gardens yesterday morning. He was not on duty at the time. He'd been an NYPD chaplain since 2021 and is the pastor of the Church of St. Anselm in St. Roche in the Bronx. Parishioners at his church had a hard time believing it, telling the Daily News he's a caring father figure to all. A Mexican drug boss made his first court appearance yesterday in federal court.
4 decades after he was convicted in Mexico for orchestrating the murder of an American drug agent, one of the most notorious Mexican narco-traffickers is locked in a Brooklyn jail. Mexico expelled Rafael Caro Quintero, flying him to New York, where he pleaded not guilty to charges of trafficking enormous quantities of marijuana and cocaine into the United States and leading a continuing criminal enterprise, a charge that could get him the death penalty.
Correspondent Aaron Kaczorski. In a statement ahead of the arraignment, the White House called Caro Quintero one of the most evil cartel bosses in the world. Talks on a second phase of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas are underway. Negotiators in Cairo went home last night without reaching a deal. Some encouraging news today out of Rome, where the Pope is still in the hospital. The Vatican says the pontiff, who's 88, was able to have coffee and read the papers this morning after a frightening episode yesterday that required doctors to use a ventilator. They say he's now stable, alternating non-invasive ventilation with less intensive high-flow oxygen.
It remains a very complex situation as the Pope continues to struggle with this pneumonia in both of his lungs. Cardinals continue to have rosary prayers for him in St. Peter's Square every night, and the faithful continue to come here to the Gemelli Hospital, where the Pope is staying on the 10th floor, to leave messages and candles, and to pray for him at the base of the statue of John Paul II. There's been a regular flow for the past 2 weeks to the Pope has been here.
Correspondent Tricia Thomas. Doctors say it'll take a day or two to evaluate how this latest episode impacted his overall clinical condition. A federal judge has blocked President Trump's plan to pull federal funding from institutions that provide gender-affirming care for transgender youth. U.S. District weather 4-day forecast next.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Calabria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop. Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin. Book now and save up to 35% off. Consider free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
At the Home Depot, it's our business to support yours. Partner with your go-to source for building your business. We can help you streamline your operations by supplying the whole job from start to finish. Any questions? Our Pro Desk is ready to answer the call with supply sourcing, custom orders, large equipment rentals, and more. Elevate your efficiency and take on more projects with the partner you can trust. The Home Depot. Our pros get more done.
I know about MJHS Health System because I remember it was founded by the Brooklyn ladies like over 100 years ago.
You remember that, but not our anniversary.
Of course I remember.
Oh yeah? When is
System today at 855-202-3502 or visit us at mjhs.org. MJHS, leading the way to great care.
Wednesday News Time 5:51. Traffic and transit with Russ Meyer.
We got some trouble in New Jersey, Route 280 specifically. It is tied up westbound coming from exit 4 Eisenhower Parkway. That's what takes us along from New Road. Here's what's going on. There's a brush it's down to a single lane. You can navigate locally around it by getting off at Eagle Rock Avenue and then take that over to Ridgedale Avenue. That's probably a better option. Otherwise, Route 10 is down a bit a ways. Now, the eastbound side of 280 right now, just some rubbernecking slowdowns. Otherwise, you'll get through there fairly easily. Also, we'll take you from New Jersey into New York, and here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Clocking in at about 25 minutes for the inbound Holland coming from Tunnelly Avenue and Pulaski Skyway. It's about 15 from the Turnpike. And 495 starting to back up over this heading to Lincoln, so that's about 20-25 minutes, and also about 20 for the